Good morning. I am going to do a little animating this morning. It is October 5th of 25, and I thought I'd get some spooky things for the 3D animations module for Halloween. It's going to be pretty casual, but you'll see my process in real time. So I got Blender open here, but before I do that, I want to see Foundry, and I got a bunch of possible monsters to animate. I just did these vampire spawns the other day, so we can see what we're hoping to do is we take something that doesn't move, make it move, give them a few animations so that way when they attack, the actual character attacks. Here's the female spawn. Vampire spawn, I should say. Okay, so humanoids are pretty easy to do. Some of these larger creatures, the aboleth. What is this? Oh, that's the aboleth. This is the Otigyug. I don't know, but those are going to be a little bit more complex. So, thought I'd focus on a few things. I got a humanoid white here, and then a wraith. First thing I like to do is check out their activities. So there's a longbow and a long sword, and we can look at his model there, and he's got a sword. He does have a bow, so I could do that like my skeletons. They sort of draw a bow and shoot and everything. Let's see if he has any other 3D models. Oh, is that a white? So just that one and a Deathlock white. I don't know what that is. We're gonna check it out though. Oh. So I wonder what that model comes from. It looks like it's in the Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. So kind of fun, kind of spooky. Sure, let's do it. I don't know what particularly, if that is a model that Deathlock white. So I won't be able to do a lot in terms of add it to the compendium with customized actions and stuff. So maybe we won't choose this one. I just want to see its features. It's got some multi-attack life drain, which is a melee weapon attack, and then grave bolt, which is probably, yep, ranged spell. So I think for this purpose here, we are just going to use this guy. Or we could do the Wraith. He's got Create Spectre and Life Drain. So he might be real easy because he is just going to have a melee weapon attack. And he doesn't really have a melee weapon, so it's going to be sort of like his own spectral claw. So for the purposes of this tutorial, I think we'll grab that one because it'll be easier to make. So here in Blender, I've got my standard setup. I'm going to import and look for that white or Wraith we decided. So under colorized monster manual, probably W, and there's the Wraith. There's also the white in there, so there it is. Let's make sure I don't already have that one animated. So I'm gonna pop into my compendium real quick, make sure that yeah, I've got some vampires, unicorns, zombies, not this guy. So here it is in Blender. Let's make sure it's oriented to -Y. And like to start making sure the scale's all applied, everything's all good. I'm gonna hit tab, make sure all the vertices are checked, go into merge by distance, and that's gonna remove 3,500 pieces. Now, usually I would do like a humanoid, but this guy is a little bit different. So all I'm gonna do is Shift A, armature, and we're gonna do single bone. I'm gonna hit Alt Z. I gotta find that module that allows Blender to show key tabs. Blender key keystrokes add-on. Screencast keys. Let's see if we can get that for y'all. I'm gonna go into my settings. Screencast keys. There we go. Now if I hit, is it gonna work? Maybe enable on startup, sure. It's gonna give me some things. Alright, I might have to restart. So let's just save this as my compendium under creatures, W. We decided that this is the Wraith. Wraith, blend, boom. Let's reopen Blender. See if that works. Coffee time. Okay. We'll open up. Oh, look, there we go. There y'all. So now we get to see all the keystrokes. Fantastic. All right. Back to my front orientation, and I'm gonna set this up to be seen in front. That's how I like to do things. Now this is sort of a ethereal ghost looking thing, so it's going to be a little bit wonkier than traditional humanoid, but we'll pop into edit mode and just start extending these bones in a way that makes sense. This is sort of boneless. Spineless Wraith. I think in the mesh these little wisps are connected, so I'm not going to worry about those. If they were separated, I might try to make them sort of like a cape, but not today. And the way that I'm doing this from the ground up will allow me to give this thing some interesting movement in terms of animation, versus if I had started in the middle and given it sort of a feet movement. So all I'm doing is hitting E, extending these bones, and I'm not getting too fancy with this thing because it's not that type of professional gaming asset. It's for Foundry Virtual Tabletop, and I'm not a professional, so this is me just putting something together, giving it some bones, some movement. Let's bring that back up, bring that back down. Now I could do every single finger if I wanted to. Again, not going to get too complex with this guy. But you know, for some models it's worth it. For some models it's not. What I will do is take advantage of his mouth, because I do like to give them sort of ability to open and close their mouth. Oops. All pretty basic spectral kind of thing. Let's see how it goes. So I'm going to tab out, apply all transforms. So now we have these things, and this is where potentially the magic happens. I'm going to click, shift click, control P, automatic weights, and look for any warnings, which I did get a warning. So we're going to pop into the mesh here and go back to that merge by distance, except we're going to open this up. I'm just going to add a 5 here, which removed another 828. Not a lot, but I'm just trying to fix my bone weight painting thing. I could paint the bones by hand, but I'm lazy. So we're going to try merging again by distance. This time I might pop into 8, another 370. Let's just keep going. Come on. Hey, no warning that time. That's great. So now if I tab into here, I could move the arm, I could move the hand. I should be able to move this whole situation, turn them, make them all kind of, check out his mouth. Okay. I mean, I could make it to where his helmet thing doesn't move. That would be kind of good, huh? All right, let's do that. So I'm going to tab out and then mesh, shift select armature. Is that how I do it? Nope, other way. Armature, shift select mesh. Let's go into what? Armature, shift select mesh. There we go. Weight paint. So I want this thing to control those helmet pieces, but not. So this is pretty good. Here's what I'm gonna do. Go into, nope, not front faces. Let's make sure projected is on there. Drop this down a bit. Just gonna paint the hell out of these sides. So that way, you know, I can do too. I can move his head and paint the mesh here. So that way, really focusing on that piece, and we can just go back to that. Alt R. All right, now I want to unpaint this part that, so I'm hitting Control with the full paint on. I could also just take this down, do it that way, which might be easier than holding Control down. So this is obviously where the mesh meets the face. It's going to be a little bit harder to separate, but we're getting there. Okay, same thing over here. I'm going to take this, move it, go back to the jaw, and unpaint the helmet. Pretty good. Okay, let's check the mouth. Oh yeah, see, we don't want that. We want, oops. We want this jaw to move, and we want this one to move without the helmet. So we'll do the same thing. Unpaint top here. We don't really need any of that. Okay. And then over here as well. I'm sure someone's going to say, oh, you're not weight painting correctly, and they would be right, because I don't know what I'm doing, but I know enough to get in trouble. Now we can check this out. Okay, we can move the, I mean, I could make sure the whole head moves, but I want sort of skull face to move. Let's give a little bit of weight to the head there. Kind of funny. You know, if I take my projection off, do front faces, give the skull whole experience. So it's rigid bone, shouldn't move in a fluid way. Should be pretty rigid, so we're gonna make it so. Okay, let's see. Good enough? This too can be bone rigid. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on the skull. People will barely see this thing, but give you some idea of my process. We'll come back into here. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. I think its top face moves a little more than I'd like, but it will work. All right, let's animate this sucker. Minus Y. Why is he oriented that way? Let's fix that. I mean, I get it. If I hid this, yeah, I kind of want him facing. So in Foundry, we might, let's move him up here. I can see him sort of turned. He's turning towards someone, sort of not towards. Let's get rid of this guy for a second. I guess it's kind of looking at you. All right, maybe I'll leave it. He's spooky. Okay. So is he looking at me? Doesn't, kind of seems like it. All right. So coffee break. Let's get this guy moving. So I'm gonna pop this over to 0, hit 1, Control Tab into pose mode. First thing I like to do is just put him into a what I call static position, which is just if we don't want him to move at all, if it's distracting to your players or whatever. Then I'm gonna change this to 192. Do a similar thing, except this is going to be my first idle. I like to give 2 idles. Let's do the first idle being pretty minimal. Little movement. Remember, he's oriented a certain way here. Maybe I can have him turn. Make his ethereal body kind of like, I want his head to stay down. Maybe his arm goes down. That's a lot of movement. Let's see what this looks like. Kind of want him to like sit up. That's kind of sitting up. Let's see if I do this. You know, let's do something like this. Let's make his mouth open too, because why not? Okay. A, H. Let's do a play and hit. Control space. Pretty terrifying. Control space, tab, boom, alt H. Let's name this one idle 1, pop it down. Now, for idle 2, I'm thinking this model is really great for like, oh, it looks dynamic. It's probably great for 3D printing. They've captured some movement in Z4250. Check them out on Patreon. And the painter, which is my guess, is that this is low dame, although I've gotten a low standard definition version. Not much to it, some texture and the smokiness. It would be nice to give his eyes some, what do you call it, emission. But what I want to do is set him up into a different starting position. Something that looks a little less like he is moving, and a little more like he might be ready for something. So we're gonna just maybe set him up a little bit. Kind of like a creepy ghost that's just standing there waiting for you. Fix his head, and I think we'll be fine. Creepy. Close his mouth too. He's just standing there. Just some spectral ghost dude. Let's fix, I think I want to fix this arm here. I want him to look kind of creepily casual. Oh yeah, that's great. Oh no, he doesn't have any bottom mesh. That's a kind of a problem because when I kill him or make him go sideways, you get to see right up his skirt. So something we could do about that. Well, let me tab out of here, grab this mesh. Go down to here. This is the original mesh. I don't know if I can get into. I can sort of start to fill it maybe. Let me just try to do this real quick. It might be a mess. I'm just grabbing the edge loop in an attempt to fill the base here. Oh, maybe. All right, let's, oh, what is going on there? Doesn't look like it's connected, but it probably is. All right, getting lost in the mesh. Let's try something. Ready? 3, 2, 1, F. Okay. I could live with that maybe. Didn't mess up anything up here. Not too bad. All right, I'm living with it. Let's tab out, come back here, get rid of my static pose. So we have this creepy idle standing. Shift D, let's copy that over. This time I'm gonna give it a 2. So this is idle 2. We're gonna create a little bit more dynamic movement. So it's gonna start with a kind of a turn. We're gonna make sure we give it some ghost-like features. Oops. So keep this part. I wanna see what that looks like. So it's just swoosh, goes up a little bit. That's kind of fun. I don't want this to go back, his arm to come up. Just trying to be intimidating maybe. And go up, yeah. And I think if we go into about halfway here, that's when his mouth will open. Head goes back. Yeah. Might as well make this other arm go out. Seems like it would. Yeah, something like that. Then if we come over to about 140, I'm thinking we can twist this, maybe move them forward. I don't want to move the whole thing. I don't want to, yeah, let's move him forward. If he's, let's make his arms go back. A lot of movement. Let's see what it looks like. That's terrifying. Oh, what happened? Oh, I don't have a proper comeback. Okay. Oh, what happened? I got 192. Maybe it just stops right. Oh, I think I shift clicked the wrong armature or wrong thing when I shift clicked. Try again. Oh, there's a little jar. Something's going on. The loop. Right there. Okay. This is how to fix that. We're going to just hit I, capture everything. Nothing else can loop. That should fix it. Beautiful. Okay. I'm guessing this guy can fly. Of course he can fly. Of course he can. Why wouldn't he be able to fly? So, we need a fly idle. Something, oof. I think the way that I made the bones, might have to do something creative here. So, idle 2 is good. We're going to create a fly idle. And I kind of thinking, let's just have them hovering. But I want this. Oh, let's see if oh no. The base, because I didn't give it, I wonder if I can give it another bone. Just as like a control bone. No. Not happy with what I did there. So I'm thinking about how I might have not set myself up for success. So I just give a little bit of a bone to like shrink his tail. That's what I want to do. But I might have to get out of this animation. Okay. And repair everything. Let's see if that's messed anything up. So static, still looks static. Idle, still pretty good, okay. Idle 2. Oh, there's a weird weight paint down there. See that? It's because of my new bones, probably. Let's go down here. I'll make sure I'm on my projected. There we go. Just some weird artifacts, huh? Gotcha. Oh, yep, there we go. Something's still pulling that up. What could it be? Lots of things. Oh, there's some. There we go. Okay. Oops. All right. Now, boom. Decent. Okay. Now we can go back into, I want to see if I can shrink. There we go. That's what I was hoping to do. George. So we can make them have a fly. So we're going to bring them up. Probably going to make him be a little bit sideways. All right, because this is what you get for not putting a bone in the middle. But that's okay. Let's see if we can get this out and then shrunk. So it kind of looks like these just... Yeah, we wouldn't want that to be like some weird... That's alright. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Almost gotta work it from the bottom. See if I can... Someone's gonna be watching him like this, so he's gonna be with his head up. I recently did the crawl. See if I could find it on my vampire spawns. And that was sort of similar. So just take her and do, what is it, number 3, number 4, number 5, this one here. So it's kind of like this, looking up like a, what do you call it? The, not poltergeist. You know what I'm talking about. Like your head's in an unnatural way. So we'll do something similar, but you're going to be floating. So first, this is an okay position. Let's get his mouth open for sure. I could just do that. Yeah. And yeah, do we want him to be, kind of want a little bit more rotation. Do we want arms up for this? For idle? I don't know. Let's play with it. If I had my arms up, and that was a scary wraith. Oh, I could do something like that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna copy these for later. So for now, oh, okay, that was his original move. Let's go back a bit. Let's keep it like this for now. Let's make this our start and stop for flying idle. We're gonna make a slight float. Let's make this kind of down. And then we're gonna see if we can paste there. So we're just gonna reach out his hand. He's gonna float up. This arm might go down slightly. So might his... I think if I'm floating up, yeah, I could see him going down just slightly. We're just gonna add a little, and we want his head to move like, yeah, okay. Let's try that. Yeah, let's get his other arm going. Let's get his other arm doing something. So we can take this, hit this, and just go like this. Oh, come on. You're not gonna mirror? Wow. Okay. Mirroring is not gonna work today. Let's see. That's pretty great. I wanna, yeah. Let's see if this arm will go out too. Now I kind of want his back end to be like a swimming, fishy kind of thing. Let's check out his mouth too. His mouth is staying open. Why don't we open it up more on that? So right here, open up his mouth more. There we go. And then for the fishiness of his, I really should have put a bone in the middle. Come on, Jeff. All right. So how would we do that without changing bones? Well, we can do that. All right, let's see what that looks like. It's not ideal. It's kind of looking okay. Can I get this? That might be all right. Let's move them up actually. Showy goes. Ooh, that's kind of good. You know what I'd like to do? Just to make this more dynamic, let's grab this, move it to like 65, shift click here, and then we're just gonna have this thing hover slightly down. Actually, you know what? We're gonna move this over to 105, and then shift click this one back. So it should go down. Perfect. And then on the down, get a little bit more wiggle stuff. Down. I just felt a little pause in the operating system. So just gonna save it with his arms. Let's just make his head go back more like unnaturally. There we go. All right, let's see what we got. Ooh, that was all right. I can live with that. Okay. That is going to be 3 fly idle. Ooh. All right, this guy's got some attacks, right? Sunlight sensitivities. Create Spectre is a summons. And then his melee attack is a life drain. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. We're just gonna do 2 like melee attacks. One will be when he's on the ground, and one will be from a fly position. Then we'll do the react death kind of sequence. So since we're already in a fly position, we will, and we're gonna drop back to 96 here because I'd like my attacks to be 4 seconds. So bada boom, bada bing, let's call this 4 fly attack. And we're gonna ramp it up with our 10. Frame 10, we're gonna rotate him, and he's gonna move back and maybe slightly up, and then we'll do some things where he has some slight movement to him. Let's give him a big ol' scary. Make his head go back. Mouth open. Okay, this is the ramp up. Some movement back there, sure. Okay, and then I'll have to do all the bones just in case I make something move. So then on 15, he's gonna swoop down and rush someone. Whoosh. We're gonna make his arms go back. Maybe slightly up. looks weird. It's back like that. Let's make his head go up like crazy. Oh yeah, it's terrifying. Okay, everything else can sort of be, this can be billowed. Guess we can do just a slight turning. I still want it to be pretty focused on the Y. Okay, let's grab that. Let's see what that looks like. So, back up, swoop down. We just need a follow through. So, follow through is gonna be, oops, grab Y. And let's tilt them back. And everything else is gonna be bones. Let's close this. Well, let's make its head weird or something. Actually, I kind of like that. I feel like his mouth would probably close at that point. Let's do Alt-R to stop that rotation. I almost feel like he'd be leading with his head. Yeah, there we go. Superman Spectre. All right. What would his arms be doing? He'd be swooping back a little, maybe starting to, oops. Let's see. All right, let's try it out. A, Alt, H, play. Pretty fast, but you know, I kind of want, in this little phase here, I just want some wiggle. Now it's just a little bit of wiggle. Put something in here. Cool. All right, that's our fly attack. We need a ground attack. So, I'm gonna pop into here. Let's find our, oh boy. That's not cool. Because of all the things I did with the fly. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Well, looks like we got some work to do. So I'm just gonna grab that. And see what we can do. Is that flipped? What is happening there? Was. Right, Alt R, Alt G, Alt S. Okay. Weird. So for some reason, it did not have any data for that point. So now I can plug that in, move it. So my static is good. I'm gonna do the same thing for idle, I guess. Idle 1, let's bring it back up to 192. Actually, because I don't have, yep, there we go. Yep, we gotta do it for all of them. So back here, Alt R, Alt G, Alt S, I, Shift D, 192, play. You know what would be fun though? I mean, why don't we just have it turn a little? There we go. Yeah, great. All right, let's get that one gone. This one, where is it? Here, Alt R, Alt G, Alt S, I, Shift. Here, I'm sure I could have just copied all that, but you know, why not? A little bit different. Great. All right, that one's done. Fly idle. Hope I didn't mess it up, huh? That one's fine. Great. And then fly attack. Great. Okay. We need idle 1. And we can just grab this position. No, I liked idle 2 better. So idle 2 for my attack. Yeah. All right. So for a Wraith attack, let's just grab the starting position with an I. Gotta drop back down to 96 because it's my attack number. This one's going to be called 5, and I think we'll call it ground attack. Sure. Number 10. We can, you know what we can do? We can actually take fly attack at number 10 and like take basically his upper body. Let's try this. Boom, there we go, look at that. Okay, so now we go. Let's take a little bit of movement here. Kind of like the idea of just twisting them. Maybe a little bit of. Then he goes. And then our 15 is going to be our attack, which I think in this scenario, we can, oh, you know what we could do? Let's go back to here, make sure we keyframe everything, and then here, what if I had this grow a bit and then can sort of slink forward. I'll just have his arms reach out. Yeah, that's terrifying. Make sure his mouth is extra open. Not enough to break his eye mesh. You know, it'd be great too, is if this moves forward a bit. Let's make him go down just a slight touch more. Great. Keyframe everything. 20. He is going to swoosh his arms. Actually, can we not? Let's just do his arms. Oops. Something like that. His head go up. I think he would go maybe a little bit of a twist before he makes his way back. Let's make this a little more dynamic. Okay, bada boom, bada bing. It's pretty good. Terrifying. All right. That is our ground attack. Save this puppy real quick. Oops. That's a wraith. Okay. Now we need our reaction, death, and dead. So almost done. Reaction's easy. We're gonna pop it into here. Actually, you know what? I think his reaction face would have been good. Let me see if I can. What would it be? Ground attack 10. Let's copy that. Or just frame it. And then move it to like 48. Actually, let's do it to like 34 or 5. So we got boom. And you know what? I want this to be a little bit more dynamic then. Yeah, make it dramatic. Let's take all of this. Shift click to 70. Here, we're just gonna twist. So dramatic. Let's make this. Wow. So dramatic. Okay. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? Let's take all of this down to this one. Okay. Oh, the horror! The horror! Okay. I don't mind that is just a ground action, because if he gets hit, even if he's flying, he'll come to the ground, do his thing, and then I'll probably default it back to like a ground idle, just because flying dynamics in 3DCanvas can be a headache. So I'm assuming most people will prefer a ground situation. Okay, that's our react. You know what I need to grab from the react? I need this pose. So there's react. You know what I can do? I think I can. Nah, I'm not gonna. Okay. Boom. Then here, take this, and this time it's death. So we'll paste that pose, and then a death of a wraith. Hard to imagine. Let's see. Is there something we got? Corporeal movement. I would imagine they would just sort of disappear. So, but for the sake of 3DCanvas, we'll make them die. Let's move them back to center. Looks kind of like, I know this needs to be down. Smaller even. Let's see if I can. If I move this one down, can I move this? No, that would be this one up. Kind of like turning into a pile of smoke is what I'm thinking. You know, something that's really helpful is plane to sort of see how he lays. So we're sort of doing this like a tutorial style, maybe. I will add a plane. So take this off. Ooh, headache. So let's hide this. Get a sense of what a dead wraith might look like. You know, kind of fine with it. I see a little bit there. What would that be? Tuck that in. I don't know what I would do with that. It's fine. We'll copy the pose. Get rid of the plane. This one here. Oops. This is all death. Okay, we will call this 7 death. boom, bada bing. Just paste the death. Well, that was weird. Usually just, oh, because I didn't have this on. Makes sense. 8, dead. Okay, bada boom, bada bing. We are good to go now. Before we move on, check out my Blender file. We got action that doesn't work, so I'm gonna hit save. We're gonna go to, if I leave this in here, I will have in Foundry a animation index that pops up in the menu that says armature action that does nothing. It's really kind of annoying. So if you hit save and then you just go to open recent and open the file that you currently have open, that will go away and your animation index won't be jacked up in Foundry. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's our index. Let's select all, export our Wraith. I have my animations module up, MZ4250, Wraith. I just like to add the word animated, making sure it's in the WebP format. I have it set up to do based on NLA track number. You know what I'm also going to do, because of the new way that it doesn't allow you to save towards your modules, which I'm sure there's a way I can provide a module like exception. Oh, I don't have a W for creatures? Wow. Okay. Well, I wonder what the other W was. So if I go back, what is a W that I did not put in my 3D-Animations module? Creatures. Oh. Oh, I think they're in lycanthropes in my module, so that's why. Interesting. Okay. Let's go to Foundry. Let me take out all these guys and just focus on my Wraith in the sunlight here. That's funny, because they're okay. I don't want them to have fly movement. Why are you being weird? There we go. Okay. So here, sometimes Foundry, I tell you. Okay, I guess he has a fly speed, so they're like, you know what I'm gonna do, instead of messing around with that guy, I'm gonna mess around with his prototype, Wraith, and he's from the SRD 5.1. Prototype 3D. Let's go into our 3D animations, creatures, W, Wraith. I like to do advanced and disable the base, and let's stick with our number 2 for our base animation. Now I'm going to do some other stuff here, because life drain, if I go into my my sheets, and find my macros. I've got this macro here. Grab that, which will go into this life drain feature. It's a dime using MIDI QOL. And I'm just going to pick one of my attacks, which will be ground attack 5. So we're going to just change it to 5 for 5 seconds. And I like that number 2 idle, so we'll change it to 2. Save the macro. Let's pop into MIDI QOL and make sure it's after the attack roll. Okay, the last thing is to grab a death animation. It's all sort of set up, so I'm using a cheat here. Going into the dime. It's going to give a growl, which is fine, because I don't have a lot of time to mess with the sounds, but 6, 7, 8 is my death sequence. So we're going to go 6, then it's going to go back to 2, and then it's going to go 7, 8. Perfect. Save that. And I think our Wraith is all set. So let's check it out. Here is the original static boring Wraith. Oh, you know, one thing I wanted to do before I do that is I like to set up my prototype tokens. I know I could have done this in my settings, but okay. Boom. Look at that. That is a Wraith. We can actually have him do some things. So if I have him attack his static brethren here, I can say, hey bud, why don't you use your life drain ability? Oh my gosh. Brah! So good. Terrifying. All right, we can also, let's see, he's got a fly. Get that other, let me just turn him towards the camera so you can see all these things. Now, if I take this Wraith and attack with the life drain, I don't know that he's going to be hurt, actually. Oh, he does a little damage. We should see him react. No, it didn't do any. No damage because he's, you know, probably strong and such. Probably doesn't even have a life to drain. Yeah. Anyway, if he gets hit with something that can actually hurt him, he does this little reaction thing, which would look like this. Oh wait, no, which would look like this. Nope, that's his swoop one. That's another ground attack. There, he would go, ah, and then he would go back. He would go, ah, wait, ah, and then he'd probably go back to 2, because that's what I programmed. If he was dying, he'd go, ah, and then he would land at 8, like that. So, pretty neat. You can easily program him to, what number is this? 3. So 3 and 4. If I took him, oops, if I took his life drain and said, you know what, I want this to be moving to number 4 and back to 3, then that would be pretty sick, because then you can have him target someone. Although the hitbox is now below him because, you know, reasons. But let's say that he's, gosh dang it. Kind of hard to grab animated tokens sometimes. So now if I do life drain, whoa, swoops down. So there's a couple of automated animation things programmed in, which is why he's spinning and stuff. But you see he swooped down for his attack and then he went back to that flying position. So pretty sick. All right. That is our Wraith for October 2025 Foundry. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see more of. If you're into 3D animations, if you're into Foundry, virtual tabletop, 3DCanvas, any of those things, happy to nerd out with y'all. In the meantime, have some good games and make that stuff move. Take care.